Hey, this is a speedrun tutorial of how to actually use Claude Code. Let's get into it. So first thing, make sure you have the Claude app installed. That is number one, first and foremost. Second thing, so once it's installed, of course, log in and you'll see two tabs here, home and code. Focus on the code section here. I believe usually it makes you install Git. So just follow the instructions to do that. That just allows it to actually work. Now, the main way that this works and the way it's a little bit different than just typical normal Claude is you are going to be working on different projects. I like to think of them with the work that I'm doing. What I would recommend on your computer is creating some sort of folder. You can name it, I don't know, like Claude projects or something like that. I have a different folder that actually has all of mine. And whenever there's a different project that you're going to work on, make a new folder for it. So for example, here's project or website A, or if you want to do client A or whatever, there's a lot of different things you could do for it. You can have, typically when you are using Claude Code, you can't have Claude look between different folders and gather different things from them unless you set a hard. But typically when you're working within Claude Code, it will work and write files into that folder. So that's why you're going to want to make different folders for each thing. So the way that this looks like in here, so as you can see, I have a lot here, but we can go open up new folder. We can just find it, Claude projects, open, trust workspace. Also as well, if it is being weird, if there's any errors, if you're on the Mac, I would say make sure this is saved locally, not on iCloud, is my suggestion. And you can just do that by right-clicking on the folder and click Keep Downloaded. So for some reason, it doesn't show up when you do that here, but this one's also on my desktop. So when I do it on my desktop, then that Keep Downloaded button shows up. Second thing, so here's where you can choose, manual accept edits. I honestly typically just go bypass permissions. Typically there is a setting where if you try and do that, it will have you turn on a certain setting. You only have to do that once. But yeah, just like that. So again, yeah, so you're going to want to open up the folder. So we're going to choose website A. And so this is where you can then start saying and building out, if you're building out a website or whatever the project is, this is where it will read and write files to automatically. And then as well within here, let's say if there's a bunch of like different photos that you want to reference for a different website, take like 10 or 15 screenshots. You can only upload like 5 at a time within like the actual UI of Claude Code. So what I do is I would just create a little folder and call it like reference photos, and then just plop all those in there. And then you can just tell it, say, hey, I put in reference photos in the reference photos folder. And typically saying that is fine, but you can also @ and say reference photos, and it'll actually pull up the actual folder. And let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's big. So you can choose the different models. If you're on the highest tier plan, you get Fable 5. If not, then it costs tokens for this. Typically, I mean, for more complex things, you're going to want to use Opus, a little bit less, like very simple IQ. So you can switch, and then of course you can see your usage here. Mine reset today, which is great. And then you can also change how hard in the paint and how fast you want it to go. So if you're like, hey, yeah, I think this is a pretty complicated thing and I want to make sure it does it right, then max that baby out. Of course, it's going to use tokens faster. But yeah, I think those are the main things. You can just continue to add on to it. I also recommend, there's different frameworks and different guides that, each project can follow. And so maybe in another video, I'll talk about that. But this is the bare bones basics, how to actually use Claude Code, how to, if you're wanting to do different apps or websites, or even if it's just, having it, you can use Claude Code to scrape different things. And then last thing I'm going to say is if you do something a lot, let's say if you build out a certain landing page that you really love, certain design elements, and you took a long time to get it to make it look like it wasn't made by AI, then like you can make that a skill and it will remember those things. You can also include and have it make different like brand guidelines for you and things like that, and you'll start to see it will write just a lot of different files and it will just build it out, and it really is incredible. So anyways, I've been talking for far too long here, but again, I probably should have actually demonstrated something here, but yeah. I'll maybe make an updated video or a follow-up video if anyone has more questions. But yeah, this is a pretty simple and straightforward thing. There are other things like doing the cloud, but I'll leave that for another video. Anyways, thanks. Bye.